You fucking...
The most annoying lords to deal with in Marvel Rivals. This is purely how annoying, frustrating, rage-inducing characters that make you want to smash your controller. Now, I know any character can be annoying in the right hands or the right circumstances, and everyone's gonna have their own opinions based off what you play and what counters you. You know, for example, maybe you play a flying character, so Hela's kind of annoying for you type thing. So I get that opinions are going to differ, but this is going to be a very generalized video based off of my own experience and the community, different information I gathered from different players, on social media, different communities to get a very generalized list here. I'm going to be following a similar format to my last video talking about the scariest lords, and I'm going to be ranking them from not bad, they're slightly annoying, they're neutral, annoying, extremely annoying or frustrating, and for the elite characters that drive you insane, rage quit. Now obviously I know that being a lord doesn't necessarily mean you're good at the character, but as a rule of thumb it means that you have a lot of experience and you've played the character enough that you have a good understanding of them. And 2, I know that it can be subjective for how a character is annoying. It could be the circumstance, how you're feeling playing the game, maybe you're more agitated, maybe the player themselves is more annoying, and whoever they play would be annoying. But just as a rule of thumb, some characters are definitely more rage-inducing than others. And just because a character is really skilled and hard to deal with, doesn't always mean it's super agitated. And I think the first character that I'm going to talk about in this video is a good example of that, and a character that's scary to play against, especially a lord, but they're not necessarily annoying. I know for me personally, I enjoy the challenge, and that's Hawkeye. Since most times you get killed by a Hawkeye, especially if it's consistent with headshots, it means that the player has put a lot of time and effort into it, practicing this character, and they got really good aim. And it's hard to feel cheesed or angry in that situation. Naturally, nobody likes getting headshot, that can ruin anyone's day, but you're also dying to somebody with an incredibly high skill level. And I also find it kind of challenging and fun to face a good Hawkeye, since I'll play a melee character and try to counter them. I will either be successful or it's a good learning experience. So I'm going to rank Hawkeye at slightly annoying. As for a Scarlet Witch Lord, I'm actually going to rank her at extremely annoying or frustrating, which will probably surprise some of you playing this video, but hear me out. And I'm not even coming off as biased because I'm an avid Scarlet Witch Lord myself. When I made my video talking about how scary each Lord is, I ranked Scarlet Witch as not scary at all. I don't think Scarlet Witch really intimidates anyone. Like when you see a Scarlet Witch Lord, you're thinking, damn, I'm going to lose this game, like they're probably going to be cracked. No, I don't think people get that feeling at all. And Scarlet Witch is a character that you can manage, but she is annoying, because Scarlet Witch, it feels like you're getting cheesed every time you get killed by one. I mean, for flying characters alone, facing a good Scarlet Witch has gotta be annoying for you. Scarlet Witch gets a lot of flack. I know she gets put in the category with Moon Knight and Squirrel Girl of characters that can't aim. I know this. And as somebody that plays her a lot, I accept this. But you have to admit, when you do run into a very good Scarlet Witch that's hard to deal with, it feels like you're getting cheesed every time you die by them. They auto-lock you, you mess up your combo, because by all rights, if you're another DPS squaring off with the Scarlet Witch, you should defeat them. And every time that you don't, it pisses you off. You can get domed by a Hawkeye and live with it, but if you keep dying to a Scarlet Witch that's going auto-locking you, it sucks. And again, I play her a lot, and being on the receiving end of that, I hate it. And I also know when I play Scarlet Witch, especially if I'm carrying a game, I know right away who I'm pissing off. Playing a Scarlet Witch Lord is a piss off, because it permanently feels like you're getting fucking cheesed. And Scarlet Witch also has that stun and her get out of jail free. And the fact that you need zero aim to play Scarlet Witch, and she's low skill ceiling, makes her that much more frustrating when you die to her. When it comes to Star-Lord, Lords, rage quit. And Star-Lord's a pretty balanced character, like he's not OP or broken by any means, but holy fuck is he annoying. Star-Lord as a character could even contest to be the most annoying. He's up there, because think of every time you play a Star-Lord Lord, or a really good Star-Lord player. They're not overly threatening to the point where you can't even poke your head out. And Star-Lord as a character is a pretty neutral character. He's good at countering a lot of different things. He can counter some flyers, he's good at this, good at that. He's just a fucking pest though, and he's underratedly elusive. He'll just be fluttering around the entire map, He's got enough mobility that you can't catch the bastard, but if you're not paying attention to him, he can do some serious damage. And then you're just waiting in anticipation for that fucking ultimate to pop. And like I talked about in my last video, it's a monotonous slog playing against a Star-Lord Lord. I don't think I need any more explanation than that, and I really don't think anyone's gonna argue me on this one. By any means not a character that you can't counter or deal with, but win or lose, rarely is it ever any fun, and the match is going to be a goddamn slog. So get ready. I'm gonna be clumping Invisible Woman and Cloak and Dagger all into one here, since I feel they rank at the very bottom of how annoying they actually are. I don't find either of them annoying to play against. I think if you're playing a really good Invisible Woman or Cloak and Dagger Lord, they're just going to be an extremely solid, consistent healer and strategist on your team or playing against. And you're pretty much going to expect all the things you would expect from a healer. They're going to have timely ultimates, they're going to be decent at dodging and countering dive, put out a decent amount of heals, be a pretty generically safe character. And I really don't think there's anything too annoying about that. Obviously, if you're playing against one of these two characters and they're really good, it's going to be difficult for you to win, but I don't think it's going to be rage-inducing by any means. And I'm somebody that mains Invisible Woman primarily, that's my main character. I just don't feel like I'm inciting a bunch of rage into people, even if I'm having a really good game. I think at the end of the day, someone's going to say, oh, that Invisible Woman was really good, like they were a pain. Same with Cloak and Dagger, I think they fall into the same category here.
Yours, Bruce.
When it comes to Penny Lords, I think it's a mixed bag, so I'm going to place them as neutral. Penny in some instances can be extremely annoying on defense, holding a specific spot on the map or a point. Very good mine placements. Ugh, yeah, can be annoying for sure. And definitely can have those moments that make you rage. But at the same time, she's just sitting there waiting to farm damage on. And, in certain situations, she's a sitting duck. Whether the Penny player is really good or not, you are at the end of the day limited to the character and what she can do. And Penny as a character obviously thrives a lot more depending on if the enemy team is paying attention to your mines or what's going on. And obviously in lower elo she could probably rank a lot higher since players don't pay attention much to the mines and what's going on. But in general, I think she's a neutral character when it comes to how frustrating she is to deal with, or the shenanigans she can pull. But I will say as a Scarlet Witch player myself, it is a pain in the ass when she uses her damn webs to stop my ultimate. I've come to the point now where I don't even ult as Scarlet Witch if I'm playing against Penny unless she's in her ult too. Can't take any chances.
I'll rate some about it at 6:30. Reporting live, Joe Martell's 13 Action News.
Spider-Man is the most annoying character in the game, and that's not just my opinion. As a matter of fact, I don't even mind dealing with a Spider-Man. I play a lot of Scarlet, I play a lot of Namor, I play a lot of Emma Frost. But just as a game as a whole, as a community, like we can't lie to ourselves here. Spider-Man is the most notorious character in this game for so many reasons I can't even rhyme them all off right now. I don't even have to explain it to you guys, I know you already know this. The most annoying character in the game, bar none.
Today I'm just gonna go and fucking ruin everything they're doing. Fuck them. Teach them a lesson that I'm in charge, not them.
They're annoying to have on your team half the time because they're throwing, they've been countered, they refuse to switch, they're annoying to play against. Even the other team that has a bad Spider-Man, for some reason if he's on the other team he'll flex no problem. Oh look, now he's playing Jeff the Shark, who would have thought? But if you have a bad Spidey Lord on your team, they ain't switching no way. They would rather just disconnect and leave the game, leaving you short-handed now. Sorry if it was your rank up game. I guess all in all, I do feel bad for Spidey mains sometimes. They do get a lot of unnecessary hate. And people do have to remember at the end of the day that this is a game to have fun no matter who you're playing. This is all meant to be fun, including this video. Not to be taken too seriously or to heart. I know the internet is fickle, but at the same time, we all know those maps that have pitfalls. Every once in a while a Spidey will pull you into one of those. They might even do it a couple times. They might even sacrifice themselves just to keep doing it. And after those kind of matches against a Spidey Lord, I'll go back to that clip from Spider-Man No Way Home. That's right, you want to pull me off the side of the map? I feel so much better now. But now let's talk about his old team-up buddy, Venom. Venom is for sure annoying as hell. Not to the point where you're raging quite yet, but it's close. A good Venom is a problem. Venom is a tickle monster that has a crappy ultimate, but still. Because he's such a fat fuck that can swing in and out at will, and he always seems to swing out just as you're about to kill him, it's a pain in the ass. Venom might not be getting picks like other dive characters, but he just lingers in your backlines and you have to acknowledge and deal with him or he can run amok. He can have your entire team turning back and forth, and it can become a nightmare, so I think Venom is fairly placed at annoying. He is counterable and he doesn't delete healers like some of the other dives, but he's a thickie, can definitely be a nuisance in the right hands. Even with that terrible ultimate, but I gotta admit that ultimate looks really cool. Magic is a really hard one to place. Magic can take over games, she can be a nightmare to deal with in the right hands, but she has a ton of counters. And she's not nearly as fast as the other dives where they delete you in the blink of an eye like a Black Panther, or can swing in and out like Spidey or pull you off the damn map. She's more of a brawler that can go toe-to-toe with tanks but then dip into the backlines when it best suits her, completing her kill combo then dipping out. Her ultimate can be game-changing and dangerous. You can even delete people right out of a healer ult with her ultimate.
Then something just snapped! Something inside of me! I didn't care anymore!
But she can easily be killed out of her ultimate too. And she's not the best to deal with flyers naturally. So I think a generally fair placement for magic lords, and me being a magic lord myself, I think she's neutral. I think it very much depends on the team up, the circumstance, the type of match, who you're playing against. Especially this season with a lot of flyers and poke, I think neutral's a pretty fair placement.
You've captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going. I'll patch you up. Double kill! That's 3! Wow, 4 in a row! 5! That's amazing! Let's make it 4!
Ah yes, Squirrel Girl. The one character nobody thought or wanted to get buffed in 2.5 when Ultron dropped, but here we are. Squirrel Girl is a pretty counterable character. She's not necessarily used in the higher elos. She's not as good against the flyers as the other pokers. Doesn't require the amount of accuracy and aim as some of the other characters. Overall, she's a pretty wonky character, but yet, I would put her in the rage quit category. And before you argue with me, here's why. Like everyone else, I play against the odd Squirrel Girl that's a nuisance and an absolute nightmare to deal with. But I also play this character a lot too. Mainly because I just find her incredibly fun, and I actually think she's a good counter for a lot of things like triple tank, getting at healers when they're hard to get to, Namor, Penny, just to name a few. You can't honestly sit there and tell me that dying to a Squirrel Girl over and over again doesn't make your blood boil. Especially a lord or a good Squirrel Girl that's set up in the right spot on the right map, the right choke point or alleyway, it can borderline make you go fucking crazy. And don't even get me started on that ultimate. And even if I'm not strategist, you can't sit there and tell me that it's not annoying dying to her ultimate. Half the time you play with people that don't even know you can shoot the damn thing, so I'm always stuck by myself trying to shoot it, watching it kill everyone around me. Even if you're playing against a good Squirrel Girl and it doesn't matter because your team's winning and you're pretty much going to win the game, it still pisses you off dying to them over and over again. And the fact that Squirrel Girl is among those characters that don't require skill or aim, yet they're running your entire game, makes her just that much more annoying to deal with. While we're on this subject of characters that require little to no aim, let's talk about Moon Knight Lords. And I find these fuckers to be annoying. Their ultimate is annoying, it can be used at annoying times and places. I find it incredibly easy to shoot that onk, and I've been playing this game long enough to know where Moon Knight usually hangs out in each given map, for the most part. But when you do run into those good Moon Knight Lords, they'll throw an onk down and have you killed before you know what happened. It doesn't necessarily feel like you got cheesed, but at the same time it does. I find myself less thinking, fuck that Moon Knight, like god damn it, and more so just mad at myself. Why didn't I see that onk in time? I should have just jumped. I should have saw it. Should've shot it, I should've hit it. It happened so fast, what the fuck? And even though you have a good Moon Knight you're going up against, you're never quite intimidated of them until it's too late. Like, even if one is dominating the game, it's like, okay, it's kind of a fluke, it'll turn around as the game goes on. Couple lucky picks, we didn't see the onks in time. Then next thing you know, he's on a perch somewhere or on a rooftop. Half the game has gone by now and you're like, okay, shit. Okay, we gotta ping this guy, like someone's gotta deal with him. I played some pretty high-end competitive Smash Bros. For like 12 years. I played that game a lot. Playing a Moon Knight in this game feels a lot like playing Link. Like a good, crappy Wi-Fi Link that's throwing projectiles the entire game. Anyone that's played Smash Bros for a significant amount of time, you'll know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. This is also not the best season for a Moon Knight either, so he's not going to be as much of a pain to deal with as he was in the past, but overall I think he's just a standard, consistently annoying character to deal with, and when you do run into a good one, it's a pain in the ass. When it comes to Magneto, he is slightly annoying. He will always be just a little bit annoying because he can beam you from across the map. I die a lot to a really good Magneto as Invisible Woman. A really good Magneto can pinpoint the healers and zero in on you, and they're really, really hard to kill. Their ultimate is consistent and good, but I think that's the whole thing with Magneto. He's been such a staple character in this game since day one. Just an overall great viable tank choice, with good team-ups, good synergies with all the other tanks, good at shutting down healer ults, can eat damage and take space. I just don't see a season where he's ever not going to be usable, and because he's such a solid good pick, and everyone's used to seeing him and dealing with him, I just don't find him that annoying. More so, if anything, I'm just pumped to have a good one on my team, especially since Emma Frost is my main tank right now. Winter Soldier Lords are frustrating and that's easy. Like Magneto, he's been just such a viable good meta pick since day one. But the difference is with Bucky, he counters so many characters. Dive characters are afraid of him, a good portion of the tanks are. God, even flyers don't want to get too close to this guy. He can stun a good portion of the cast in their ultimates, grapple you and pull you in. Great consistent combos, and then the bread and butter, the one thing that keeps everyone up at night.
Armed and dangerous! Again! 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 Again!
What also makes it worse is the Winter Soldier Lords are the biggest tryhards out of any Lord in this game. I swear, if you're playing quick play and you just happen to be doing good, or you have somebody on your team that maybe died one time, can't have that, they'll switch to their Winter Soldier Lord and start trying super hard. Like, bro, it's okay to try a new character, and okay if you die a few times, we don't need to see your Winter Soldier Lord. And then everyone else will follow suit and switch to their lords, and now we have a sweaty match on our hands. When it started out as just a nice, fun, quick play to wind down after a long day of work. But yeah, easily frustrating for pretty much everyone in the game. Captain America Lords, rage quit, easy, next. I don't really think I need to explain this one, but I will. Yeah, Captain America might have got nerfed a little bit. This might not be his best season to flourish, but you have to understand something. Last season, where Cap was the best he's ever been meta-wise, there was a lot of people that started playing this character, but they're frauds. The real Captain America Lords, the mains, the OGs, have been playing this character since he's been dog shit when he came out. They learned this character in the trenches. This is nothing. This nerf now, with all these flyers, it's nothing. And you want to know why? Because they fight for more than a flag, they fight for an idea that's bigger than all of us. They can also do this all day. And if you can't find where they are because they're running around and running circles in your backlines, they're probably on your left. I'm not saying you can't deal with him. I'm not saying you can't counter him. I play a lot of Emma Frost, she's a pretty good counter for him. But the match is going to be a slow, painful slog every time. Try in your head to think of a time you played a really good Cap Lord, and the match wasn't a slog, especially for the healers, but even the tanks that have to turn around for them and help all the time, and the DPS that are now wondering why they haven't been healed in a while. It's going to be a slow, painful ride, so buckle up. Bucko. Thor is neutral. I wanted to put him at slightly annoying, especially after this season and the big changes to Thor's kit. Last season, a good Thor would have been frustrating easy, but the way Thor actually functions and plays on a consistent basis now is different. However, even with the changes to Thor, him needing a better ultimate, and not bashing you and pushing you around in your face all game, good Thor lords are no fucking joke, man. Even with the changes, I was actually playing competitive yesterday, and when I play Emma Frost, I play pretty aggressive. I like to push the other team's healers a lot, get picks. I was playing with a phenomenal Thor player, and holy shit, was it the easiest rank up games I've ever played in my life. Thor's not a character I'm super familiar with, like playing wise, but watching a good one go to work is fascinating to me. They have such a finesse of how they go about the game and how they approach the fights. They know when to get out. Definitely a character that I would like to learn in the future at some point, and playing a good Thor is always annoying no matter what. They can nerf this guy to the ground. They may never buff him to the point where he's a ban-worthy tank, but he's always going to be consistently annoying in the right hands. And because Thor has never been a true meta tank yet, there is very little to no frauds among Thor players. If you're maining and lording this character, then you truly just like this character. You are not playing him because he's good now. Unlike those frauds, Human Torch, which half the lords out there only started playing him in 2.0 because he got those sweet buffs. And now that he got nerfed to the ground again, you don't see him nearly as much. All those Human Torch players that came out of the woodwork are all gone. However, I must acknowledge the OG Human Torches that have stuck through this character ever since he dropped. You guys are always a pain in the ass to deal with, so consider this my acknowledgement to you, but overall, Human Torch, especially in this season, is slightly annoying. He has his moments still. The team up with Storm's always going to be a threat. His ultimate can be pretty good and useful in certain situations, but they neutered this guy, man, I don't know what to tell ya. And all those frauds bailed on him the minute they did. They all flock to Punisher now. A good Namor Lord is definitely frustrating, because they can actually aim. But it doesn't even matter if they can aim, because the majority of the time, I don't care what any Namor tells you if they brag about their aim, oh yeah, they snipe people. No. 80% of the final hits and kills they get are from their squids. They could literally throw their squids down, go make a coffee, come back, they're gonna get a couple kills. And it sucks dying to those squids. Sucks if you're a flyer, if you're a diver. And most Namor lords, unlike regular Namor players, they also like to dive themselves, and they're a pain in the ass. We thought that the Green Goblin, Venom, Doc Ock were the main Spider-Man villains? No, it's this guy. A good Wolverine Lord is such a unique and hard find. It is such a treat to run into a Wolverine Lord, they're very rare. And I won't lie to you, this is a very hard one to place. Wolverine players, especially the Wolverine mains, are some of the most hilarious players. They're so unhinged. You never know what they're gonna do. They could completely take over a game, they might just be a solid factor for the win, or they can be completely unhinged, trying to suicide off the map with one of your tanks, trying to spear an Iron Man right out of the sky. You know, it's kind of hypocritical of all of us, because we hate on Spider-Man lords for being one-tricks, never switching. There is the odd time you'll run into a Wolverine lord, they won't switch either, but no one gets mad about it. Even if they're not having their best game, they'll still spear the enemy tank right off the map or something stupid. That still helps your team, so it's hard to hate that they're on your team. This makes them terribly annoying and hilarious all at the same time. I'm a Groot Lord myself, and I've been shredded to bits by good Wolverine players, but every time this happens, I can't help but actually laugh my ass off rather than get upset or angry. Usually I'm on the mic and my entire team's laughing because I'm like, bro, I got kidnapped, like it's over for me. To be honest, I'm not really sure where to place Wolverine. He could go in each category depending on the player and their experience with him. So for me personally, I'm going to place him in annoying. The Hulk is frustrating, easily borderline rage quit. They could go in either category. A Hulk Lord or a good Hulk player is a flat out nightmare to deal with. For your tanks, your healers, They know when to get their big green ass out of there just in the nick of time. And if you're playing competitive and Hulk slips through the cracks of being not banned along with Namor, have fun with that one. I don't really think I need to say more than that. Hulk is frustrating for sure. Stormlords are easily annoying. Their ultimate's a pain in the ass. It's always going to be annoying to deal with in any given game you're playing. Then they got the team-ups now with Jeff and Human Torch. I play a lot of Wanda, so it's not the end of the world most of the time, but you can't always switch to who you want in any given situation. And very rarely will there be a Storm not accompanied by another flyer. Especially this season, so frustrating for sure. Then you take into consideration her passives that give you a little bit of damage or speed. Yeah, fuck that bitch, ban her immediately, I'm telling you. Storm's one of those characters that's annoying for the right reasons, and has a niche enough playstyle that's a nuisance to deal with as well. But you're also not getting cheesed by a Storm. If you're playing a good Storm, you're playing a good one. You're not going to play a bad Storm that's going to make your life miserable. It's not that same level of rage of catching a Squirrel Girl shot that's a pure fluke that kills you. But unlike Hawkeye that you can dive or try to melee or counter him, Storm can go uncontested until it's too late, way longer than they ever should. I think a lot of people might disagree with me on this one, but I really never find a situation where I find a Rocket Raccoon annoying at all. I always target their instant revive, especially if I'm playing dive. Yeah, he could have the Penny team up, but that more or less just makes Penny more annoying. Rocket doesn't have any shenanigans where he's actually like pushing you off the ledge or doing anything silly. His revive is his main gimmick, he's mostly just heal botting and running away. And I'm not trying to make that sound negative because I actually love having a good Rocket Raccoon on my team. I actually find him underratedly fun to play. I recently started playing more Rocket. His mobility's awesome, he kinda goes under the radar, but that's just it. He's sort of just under the radar. You're always expecting to play against at least one good healer every given match unless the other team doesn't have any healers, then you assume they're just throwing. Rocket's ultimate's also really good, but you can shoot it down and destroy it pretty quickly. I will admit though, there's the odd really good Rocket that will shred you to bits if you get too close to them before you even know what fucking happened. But for the most part, I don't find Rocket an overly annoying character at all. Rocket is a genuine phenomenal character to have on your team, they're just not annoying, I don't know. Jeff Lords on the other hand are still annoying. I'm so sad I didn't get this video out before they nerfed this guy or changed him entirely. I'm not a Jeff player, so I don't really know if he's a better overall character now or worse. But regardless, I can appreciate like the Thor players. If your character plays a certain way and then they change them all around, it sucks. Jeff was by far contesting Spider-Man for the most annoying little shit in the game before 2.5 dropped. That has significantly been reduced as Jeff more now plays in your backlines, more heal botting, doing consistent damage. Again, Jeff could overall be a better character now, I don't actually know, I'm not a Jeff expert, but I find him significantly less annoying to deal with. However, that ultimate's always going to be annoying, and like I said in my last video talking about the scariest lords in the game, I don't care who you are, how good you think you are at the game, Jeff's ultimates got everyone at one point. Whether it be domination, capturing the mission area in OT to clutch, eating you up before you ult or healer ult, swimming away just long enough for the overtime clock to run out and you lose. Just another reason why I absolutely love playing Emma Frost now as my main tank, because when you turn into her crystallized form, and you know that Jeff ult's coming, it's almost overtime, not to mention you can grab him right out of his ult. But yeah, overall Jeff for sure is still an annoying character to deal with. Doctor Strange, in my humble opinion, is the most annoying tank in the game. He is rage quit status for sure, he's even more annoying than Captain America. And if I'm being perfectly honest, this even goes beyond the recent buffs he got now, making Doctor Strange meta again. Who cares about all that? Doctor Strange lords and good Doctor Strange players are just so elusive, they're just kinda always there. They can block a good portion of everyone's ult. If I'm Wanda and a good Doctor Strange is able to isolate my ult, they can block Hela's ult. I'm pretty sure Hela's least favorite character in this game is Doctor Strange, it's gotta be. They're really good up close putting pressure. They're even good at dealing with flyers. Like, a good Doctor Strange is annoying. Think about it. They're hard to fucking kill and they're just floating around, just kind of surviving, and the next thing you know, they're killing your healers. Don't even get me started on their ultimate. What a fantastic ultimate to use in conjunction with other ults. I don't know what it is, but every time a good Doctor Strange ults and I'm playing healer, which I do a lot, they kill us instantly every time. It's a slow process, you gotta sit there and watch it happen. It pisses me off more than dying to any dive character by a large margin. It fucking pisses me off. Or they portal in right over your head, you know it's coming, your team doesn't react, boom. They give Wanda, an already annoying character, a great team up and can portal Wanda in for a fucking suicide ult. Oh yeah, did I mention his portal already, or do I even have to? At this exact moment in time, there is somebody that's losing a game that has no business winning right now, that just switched to Doctor Strange and portaled in at the last minute, and they're gonna clutch and win. Doctor Strange is even a character that I've personally started playing a lot more of and trying to learn. I've even portaled onto the point from my spawn so Punisher can set up his turret. Then there's the old classic setting up a portal in front of the enemy spawn. The portal is the best move in the game. As far as regular moveset moves, oh my god. The sky's the limit with that thing. Yeah, rage quit for sure, fuck that guy, but also, everyone should learn how to use them. Mr. Fantastic Lords, another rare one to find, they're frustrating. They were borderline rage quit last season. This season, they're not quite as good, but they're still always a problem with their stupid stretchy arms. And a really good Mr. Fantastic is an annoying piece of shit that's hard to kill. They're gonna slowly just wiggle and waltz right into your backline, throwing those stretchy hands, looking like fucking Lanky Kong from Donkey Kong 64. Your tanks never notice till it's too late, even if they do, it doesn't matter. In my last video when I ranked all the ultimates, I said Mr. Fantastic ult is trash, which it is. But is it irritating? Yeah, it is. Especially when I'm Invisible Woman and he guesses where I am. I think it makes it even more annoying that it's such a goofy ass fucking ult. And I just died to it. Overall, Mr. Fantastic Lords, despite them being very skilled players, with a very underrated character in my opinion, that lanky, elusive bastard is always a pain. Ah, yes. Groot. My original tank that I learned in this game. What's sad though is I don't really play Groot all that much these days. Mainly cause he's still banned a ton. And even when he's not banned, people just don't want him on their team. It's not even just to play against. And the worst part is, Groot's not really that good. Like, he's a good tank, but he has always had really viable counters, like Wolverine's never banned much anymore. Bucky's a really good counter to Groot. Punisher shreds Groot, there's so many good poke characters now too, and flyers, yet people hate this guy, he pisses them off. And the reason being is nobody wants to deal with those walls. Healers don't like dealing with them, DPS don't, tanks especially don't. But even if it's a Groot on your team still doesn't want to deal with them. And what makes it worse is if one person's playing Groot on your team, the other team is eventually going to switch to Groot within the first 2 minutes. Then your entire match is just an endless slog of walls being placed up, you having to shoot them down, and working around them. So yeah, I think Rage Quit is earned at this point for Groot. The fact that this guy gets banned despite not being meta anymore, solely because people just don't want to deal with his walls at all, they'd rather just ban him and not have to deal with it. That alone is like the definition of being an annoying character despite not being necessarily the best. Groot can kick some rocks, am I right? Go back to Fortnite if you want to build your damn walls. Now this next one's gonna sound a little hypocritical, but hear me out. Black Widow. The Lords are really hard to come by. Or even just the really good Black Widow players. You'll run into them once in a while. They're not as scary as a Hawkeye Lord, but they're more annoying. I know, right? Why? To be honest, it's even hard for me to explain it. I guess it sort of feels like a Black Widow should be like a throw pick. Then when you're getting snipped by one, it's like, okay, fuck. You can hear them shooting at you all game. Then you go to dive them, and holy shit, you nearly get deleted by them. And I don't know what it is, but unlike a Hawkeye player, it feels like a Black Widow Lord is just playing their own little game like Sniper Simulation. Like Hawkeyes and Hela sort of feel like they're part of the team in the mix, with the fray a little bit, but a Black Widow just seems like they're camped out somewhere like a third party just snipping people. I don't know what it is. It's hard to explain. They are more annoying for some reason. They're more irritating. They're not terribly irritating, like you can deal with them. And again, they're not nearly as scary. I don't know, when you're playing a good Hawkeye and a Hawkeye Lord, you just come to expect that they're gonna have good aim. But when it comes to Black Widow, you deceive yourself in thinking the other team's throwing, you got it in the bag. Which makes those Black Widow Lords that much more annoying than you would expect. And because it's so incredibly uncommon to run into this, it always catches you off guard. But yeah, they're decently annoying, so I think neutral is a realistic place, and I think a lot of people will weirdly agree with me on this. Ultron is frustrating, easily. Not a broken character by any means, but he's annoying for a few reasons. One, it's always going to be a flyer that's picked every time, especially right now, and right now is all we have to go off of. I can't predict the future, obviously. Maybe he's less annoying then. But also, Ultron is kind of like a stat patter, you know what I mean? Just an MVP merchant. It feels like Ultron's always getting MVP and SVP no matter what. I mean, Ultron does have some good games, and there's some good Ultrons out there already despite what people think. But man, what a stat patter this guy is, huh? And we haven't even talked about the Ultron Lords yet. I mean, who the fuck has this guy at Lord? Legit though, how do you have him at Lord already? I mean, good for you, I suppose, but should probably brush up on your resume also, you know what I mean? Oh, I don't know, probably because he's a stat pattern, you're just getting all those stats. So you're able to level him up super quick. All joking aside though, I think Ultron will become less annoying when he's not picked every game. And it's not really the character's fault that his entire kit and the way he's meant to be played, being a DPS healer hybrid sort of character, that he would be an MVP merchant. Kind of just comes with the territory, I guess. But yeah, as of 2.5 right now, he's frustrating. Not as frustrating as Iron Man though.
Those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
Deliver us! Finish it! Finish it! Evil!
What's funny is Iron Man, to me at least, isn't even that hard to deal with. As Scarlet Witch, I can decimate an Iron Man usually all game most of the time. It's usually a free MVP for me, but he is still rage quit status. He's always doing that annoying hump in the lobby. I don't know what it is about Iron Man Lords or mains, but they have this little cockiness about them where they, ooh, I'm gonna switch to Iron Man and really do something here. Iron Man for some reason goes under the radar as one character that requires little to no skill and no aim. No one fucking talks about it though. His ultimate is basically free. You could play the game for one day and be able to get kills with his ultimate. It's easy to use and it's so effective. He can fly around real quick, do his annoying little beam. You can already hear me getting worked up. This one's personal for me. I don't know what it is about Iron Man. Maybe this is just me, but despite Iron Man Lords not being necessarily scary, they just have a smugness about them. They just have a way of getting under your skin. I don't know what it is, man. And like, he's a pretty fair and balanced character. Like, I have no issue that way. It's just the way he plays. It pisses me off. Yeah, I can switch to Scarlet and pretty much shut him down or make the player switch, but it's annoying the fact that I even have to do that. And for whatever reason, I could be playing against a top-of-the-line Storm. They could be destroying our entire team. I'm not gonna get nearly as mad as if it's a fucking Iron Man that's left unchecked. I'm playing tank, no one's dealing with them, and I have to do it myself. The guy's just sitting there on autopilot, aimbotting, doing his little chest beam, and throwing out that ultimate every now and then. I guess it's probably a sad irony because Iron Man Lords gotta feel the same way about us Wanda Lords, I imagine. But I'll admit, if I get a beauty of an Iron Man on my team, I'm pretty pumped about it, not gonna lie. I think Adam Warlock is one of the scariest Lords to run into in the entire game. But honestly, I never feel cheesed by one. Their ultimate is good, but not as good as the healer ults we're all used to. The Soul Bond's pretty good, but it's been nerfed quite a bit. And Adam Warlock Lord's pretty rare too, so they can usually aim and absolutely delete you pretty fast if you're not paying attention. But again, as scary as they are to play, and as much as I love to have one on my team, I don't overly find them annoying to deal with. They're not making me pissed off by any means. I don't feel cheesed at all by playing one. On the contrary, I actually find it pretty fascinating and cool to watch a good Adam Warlock even on the other team go to work. I find it very challenging as Magic to try to dive one of these fuckers, because a really good Adam Warlock will make you work for it. You are definitely going to have to be at the top of your game to get a pick on one of them. But again, they do have their moments, so I think slightly annoying is a fair placement. Mantis is definitely one of the more annoying strategists to play because she has a lot more shenanigans, she can put you to sleep, and it's mostly DPS oriented players that main Mantis as a strategist. But a really good Mantis and a Lord basically might as well be a DPS. But that's the thing though, you still think in the back of your head they're a strategist, and they are. They're still healing people, but they're doming people too. Like, if I'm being honest, if I'm trying to dive the enemy healers, the one that freaks me out the most if they're really good is a Mantis. It feels less like I'm trying to kill a healer and more like I'm trying to kill a DPS that just happens to heal people. And because Mantis isn't one of your textbook healers that has a ton of healing output, their main bread and butter and shtick is going to be killing people. Healing's an afterthought. So I'm gonna say that they're neutral. But as for Luna Snow, it's a lot of the same things, only she has an ultimate that lasts 100 years. And for Luna Snow, it's going to be pretty much the same things I just said for Mantis, but even worse. Because Luna Snow got buffed, she's got the Hawkeye team up, her ultimate is fucking nuts. It's still one of the best in the game. Probably is the best in the game. It can buff your damage, heal you. It still lingers on way longer than all the other healer alts. Like, are they ever gonna nerf this thing? Probably not.
Judge, jury.
Crazy, 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 crazy.
No.
Act like an angel, dressed
Wait.
like crazy. Act like an angel, dressed like crazy. All the girls are yelling. 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 All the girls are yelling.
Maximum.
And a Luna Snow can also stun you. She can stun you out of your ultimate. She can beam you. She can decimate flyers. She's terrifying. And definitely annoying enough to deal with. Again, a lot of the same things as Mantis, but a little bit more amplified with those buffs and that damn ultimate. So for Luna Snow, I'm gonna put her at annoying. Psylocke is a very interesting one. I play a lot of Psylocke. I am nearly a Lord. It's not my main character, but a character I play a lot, and when you do run into a Lord Psylocke, they're usually pretty consistently good. Psylocke did get hit pretty big with these nerfs. She's still pretty viable though, but nerfing her invisibility did significantly nerf how annoying she can be. But honestly, even before the nerfs, despite Psylocke being a consistently good character, she goes very under the radar, which is sort of fitting for the character itself, being how stealthy ninja-like she is. Sort of lore accurate almost. Honestly, this one's really difficult to place. Psylocke's, even the really good ones when I play against them, don't bother me too much. They don't get under my skin. They're just a player that you have to be aware of if they're really good. They have a pretty high skill ceiling, so I never feel cheesed dying to one. And they're usually a character that somebody picks for a certain situation. I think I'm ultimately gonna go with neutral with Psylocke. This community as a whole is not shy when expressing their feelings. And if Psylocke was driving people insane, you'd hear about it. So yeah, I'm gonna go with neutral for Psylocke, which I think's the most lore accurate thing I can do. As annoying as she can be, she goes under the radar, it's perfect. Why they nerfed her though, I'll never know. The Thing Lords are also a really tough one to place because this season they are struggling. With all the flyers and poke, Brawl is pretty well the weakest playstyle right now. A really good Thing player is in your face all game. They are definitely irritating, but right now in this season, it's a struggle for them. Plus, for me personally, this is an easy matchup because I play Emma Frost and Groot, two tanks that are really good against the Thing. I'll be honest, I'm not really even sure where to place this guy. If I was basing this just off my experience playing this game, I would put them as not annoying to deal with at all. Actually, on the contrary, I get excited when I'm playing against the Thing. Like I said, I usually match up really well against them. The Thing Lords are still immaculate at taking space and clobbering you. Pun intended, they'll punch you out. And they are unfazed what's going on around them. They'll like Donkey Kong wind up and just punch you out. And because I know not everyone's gonna match up well with the thing like I do, maybe you're a Moon Knight getting punched out. Believe me, as somebody that plays a lot of healer, this guy's always winding up, heading straight for me. So for this season right now, I'm gonna put the Thing Lord at slightly annoying to deal with, but just so you guys know, when Brawl becomes more meta again, he's going to skyrocket this tier list. If this was last season, I probably would have put him at frustrating or annoying, at the very least. A lot of what I just said holds true for Iron Fist as well. If this was last season or even last patch 2.0, he would have been much higher on this list as well. You don't see him nearly as much anymore. He's not as good in running rampant. I mean, he did need a little bit of nerfs, but despite all of that, Iron Fist Lords are some of the scariest players in the game. Because remember, a lot like Captain America, they've been playing this character since day one, back when he was terrible, so little bits of nerfs don't slow them down all that much. So despite Iron Fist having a rough season, they are still neutrally annoying. Whether you're a flyer, healer, tank, or a DPS isolated, you cannot turn a blind eye to them. Ironically though, yet another character that's having a struggling season is Black Panther, but yet he's still frustrating, because a Black Panther Lord and a Black Panther player are usually pretty loyal to the character, through and through, thick and thin. Black Panther's been struggling for a couple seasons now. It's not been good for the melee characters, really as of 2.0 and on, especially with Emma Frost being as good as she was. But Black Panther players are so dialed in. The Lords are some of the scariest players in the game despite the character not being overly great. It's because Panther players are dialed in, and he can delete a healer so fast that it leaves people shook. Rather than just accept that a Panther got a quick pick on you and you just got to adjust a bit, people panic. They panic when this guy's there. Recently, one of my ranked games, we had a Black Panther Lord on the other team and everyone started to panic right away, so I had to switch to Emma Frost, and I completely shut him down. But if I wouldn't have done that, the match would have been a nightmare. We probably would have barely left spawn. And again, this is not a good season for Black Panther. So yeah, he's frustrating for sure. If there's ever a season where Black Panther is hard meta, he's gonna be rage quit without a shadow of a doubt. And we'll all be trembling before Basque. And as somebody that plays Magic avidly, I cannot wait. I know for an absolute fact I'm gonna catch some flack for this one, but I don't care. Punisher Lords, this is a phenomenal season for you all. How are you enjoying it? Good, I hope? I've run into some good Punishers this season, but most of the good Punishers I've run into are frauds. People that switch characters depending on what's meta. They were playing a lot of Human Torch and Storm in the past few patches. These are just generically good players that switch to what's a meta character. Punisher Lord mains are not annoying at all. I know, right? If this would have been Season 0 when Punisher was sitting in his turret all game and none of us knew what we were doing, this would be a lot different of a placement, but honestly, I get excited every time I play a Punisher. It's the opposite feeling of being annoying. I can play Magic, Squirrel Girl, Emma Frost. Hell, I can play Invisible Woman and I get amped to play a Punisher. The turrets are the most predictable, easy thing to destroy. We've had a ton of practice for months now. The gimmick is up, the jig's up. I will acknowledge the fact that I don't main any flying characters, so if I did, Punisher would probably rank quite a bit higher in my list. But even for you flyer mains, I'll admit that, there is no way that Punisher Lords are more annoying to you or even more scary to you than like a Hawkeye or Hela. Hell, even a Luna Snow. Punisher's a very effective character in this season, a very viable good pick. Having one on your team this season especially is more of a benefit than a hindrance. I just don't find them annoying at all. At all. It's the opposite feeling for me, and I know there's a lot of people that feel similarly. So yeah, not annoying at all. I find the really good players that flex Punisher more annoying than the Lords. Oh boy, even though I said it wasn't a tier list, I feel like I upset them. I think Emma Frost, especially in 2.5, is annoying. She would have been frustrating borderline rage quit in 2.0. With these nerfs now, I think she's more balanced and a fair character. She's not able to delete squishies nearly as much, but she still has her shenanigans. If you're playing dive, you probably hate this character. Healers probably hate this character because she can play aggressive and get some picks. But certain tanks and even flyers or poke aren't necessarily dreading playing an Emma or getting pissed off by playing one, maybe they are. But then again, Emma can choke slam you out of your ultimate, getting kicked off the edge of the map's never fun. I'm trying really hard to be as neutral as possible when talking about Emma because this is the character that I've played the most by far in the last month, I guess, ever since Groot's been banned non-stop. But there's simply no way that a Penny Parker, Scarlet Witch, a Spider-Man right out of their ult, and that's just an example to name a few, aren't getting pissed off when you stun them. So I think a perfectly fair placement for Emma is annoying. When it comes to Hela, it's the same as Hawkeye. She's slightly annoying, probably more annoying for the flyers, but then flyers will switch. She can be irritating as a healer, but overall she kinda goes under the radar. It's annoying that when you do dive a Hela, they can get out of jail free with their flyaway. I would probably say that Hela is slightly more annoying to play than a Hawkeye because she has better mobility so she can bail out when you're diving one and finally ready to kill her. I would say that a Hela Lord is one of, if not the scariest characters in the game. They're also a little bit more annoying because, like I said in the past, these are the Overwatch veterans that have played for 8 years, and they'll tell anyone that has ears that they've played Overwatch for like 8 years, and again, try to sell you some coaching lessons or some shit, but that's more the players being annoying than the actual character. There's a reason Hawkeye and Hela have been meta since day one and barely nerfed at all, and keep getting buffs actually, because for some reason, as good as these characters are, they just don't piss people off enough that they'll ever truly nerf them. Why would they? As good as these characters are, they're just not in your face enough to piss everyone off. And if a Hela and Hawkeye are taking over a game, it goes more unnoticed to the average player. There might come a day where maybe people complain about these characters a lot, like they do with others, but overall, they're slipping through the cracks of being slightly annoying, and that alone will prevent them from ever truly getting nerfed. Unlike somebody like Iron Fist that gets buffed really good for one season of 2.0 and right away people are like, hey, whoa. Then the devs are like, oh shit, okay, sorry. Nerf them right away. I don't know what to tell you, slightly annoying for Hela. Yep, there are Lord Bruce Banners, people that don't even transform into the Hulk. I could almost argue they're borderline annoying for their crimes against humanity, but because they're such a joke, they're an afterthought. And finally, last but certainly not least, Loki. Where, oh where do we put the God of Mischief? I will tell you exactly where his placement is. Right here. Are you confused by this? I'll make it simple. One of these is the real Loki. The rest are just clones. So which one's the real one? Let me know down in the comment section. But remember, Loki can switch clones. I'm not even going to tell you what I officially think Loki's placement is. I'm going to leave it unspoken. Everyone's just going to collectively have to dig deep and think, where does he truly go? And I lied because he's not even the last character, it's her. The true, most annoying character in Marvel Rivals. Hearing her voice never gets old, am I right?
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
If you're feeling suicidal, you've come to the right place. One more word. Please give me one.
Well, you can't expect to win them all.